I call to order this regular meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Morris this Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. The time is now 7:05 p.m. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, and adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required by law. Specifically, notice of this meeting was mailed to the Daily Record and the Morris News-Bee on January 8th, 2026, and posted on the Township of Morris website. The agenda and the resolutions for the meeting are available on morristwp.com under the Agenda Center. Certain portions of this meeting may be closed to the public for the purpose of personnel and/or other matters as outlined in the Sunshine Law. Notice to the members of the governing body and township staff, any use of electronic devices during this meeting shall be used solely for the purpose of township business, and any communications are subject to the Open Public Records Act. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mr. Grayzel.
Here.
Mr. Ravitz.
Here.
Mr. Jonnada.
Here.
Mayor Guariglia.
Here. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I did want to just make one comment, because obviously many of you have heard this news, but if not, and you're looking up at the dais, former mayor and committeeman Mark Jeffery has taken a position. We're all very excited for him as the chief of staff for the Commissioner of Banking and Insurance with the governor's office. So we are in the process now. We're going through the necessary process to have somebody appointed to the Township Committee. So that's why Mark's not here. And also, we will be honoring him and thanking him. He was not able to attend this meeting, so that'll probably be next month or the month after. But he's already sorely missed, and we wish him well. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from November 12th, 2025 for closed, regular, and the special meeting, and December 8th, 2025's special meeting by one motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have one proclamation on our agenda tonight, and it is Black History Month, so I will read the Black History Month proclamation. Whereas Black History Month provides an opportunity to recognize the struggles and achievements of African Americans and their vital contributions to our nation's economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development. And whereas in 1926, Dr. Carter G. Woodson established Black History Week, which was expanded to Black History Month in 1976 and has been celebrated nationally every February since then. And whereas February marks many significant milestones in African American history, including the birthdays of Frederick Douglass, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Rosa Parks, the February signing of the congressional resolution that became the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery, the ratification of the 15th Amendment granting voting rights, the founding of the NAACP, and other key civil rights actions and legislation. And whereas the lives and contributions of leaders such as Thurgood Marshall, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., Maya Angelou, Harriet Tubman, John Lewis, Barack Obama, and countless others highlight the importance of recognizing Black history and promoting equality. And whereas observing Black History Month reminds us of the ongoing need to address systemic barriers, promote understanding, and build a more just and equitable society. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Morris Township Committee supports the celebration of Black History Month in February 2026 and encourages residents to reflect on its meaning, honor the achievements of African Americans, and strive for a more inclusive and equitable community. I do want to just also point out that the theme in 2026 is a century of Black history commemorations. In 1926, there was the first Negro History Week highlighting evolution, impact, and perseverance of the African American history and culture. We need to continue to celebrate and integrate Black history into our national narrative. It is important to protect, promote, and preserve Black history for future generations. And as you've all heard, Jesse Jackson has just passed away. And a favorite quote of his, one of them is, "Never look down on anyone else unless you are helping them up." It's a lesson we all still need to practice every day. He was a civil rights activist, fought for voting rights and economic justice. After a lifetime of dedication by him to advance these areas, we are still fighting for some of the very same things today. So may he rest in peace and power. We have two presentations on our agenda tonight, so we will begin with the Morris Arc 81 Ketch Road, the CDBG application generator installation that is for $77,750. If you would come to the podium, thank you.
Good evening.
Nari, just give us your name and your position with Morris Arc, please.
Yes, my name is Naira Aslanyan. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for ARC Morris, and with me is, you want to say that?
Yes. Hello, my name is Antonio Salters. I'm the Senior Director of Operations for ARC Morris.
Thank you for having us here today. Do you want me to just do the presentation? Okay, so ARC Morris.
Can I ask her a question first?
Sure.
Just for the public, so we understand, why are they appearing before us instead of the planning board?
No, this is not a plan, but this is their plan. They are making a grant application through the Community Development Block Grant Program. The Community Development Block Grant Program requires that any entity who's going to make applications must present it to the governing body of the municipality where this project is going to take place. So that is the reason that they are here to talk about their application for a generator for their facility on Ketch Road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for interrupting you.
No problem. So we, ARC Morris, is an organization that has been in Morris County for over 70 years supporting people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We have a number of group homes, day programs across. Now, one of them is the Supervised Apartments building on 81 Ketch Road, which is affordable housing that provides housing for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. There are 15 residents in that home. So we would like to apply for community development block grant for the amount $77,750 to install a generator in that property. Over the years, the property has experienced many times when there's bad weather, they lose power, and because we are supporting very vulnerable population with medical issues, and many times when it's severe weather disruptions, we have to relocate people, which puts a lot of strain on the agency and on emergency staff, to be honest with you, because sometimes we need assistance from the township. So what we are planning to do is to install a generator, backup generator, so in case of loss of power, we don't have to relocate the individuals and can provide essential services to people with disabilities who really need it. And we would appreciate the support of the township in this application. So we applied for, we want to apply to this grant, and we set 3 bids, and we would like to select the Mount Salem Electric, which provided the most cost-efficient bid, and their price is $77,750, which is the lowest. So in case the application is approved, we will receive the grant. That's the company we're going to go with to install the generator.
Okay. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Thank you very much.
We may have to get some documents to Naira for her application that we will facilitate.
Yes, the application may need the resolution, so I'll give you the
Yep,
details.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would just like to say thank you to ARC Morris for providing the services that so many people in need require in this community. So thanks for doing the work.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Okay, our next presentation, we have the 2025 Environmental Commission Annual Report by the Chair, Brian Morgan. Welcome, Brian.
Guys, you skipped the public comment?
We're gonna go right afterwards.
I do.
Yep.
You want to do public comment afterwards? After
I
Donna's
have the-
presentation?
Oh.
Yeah, we'll go to the public comment right after Brian's presentation.
Did I have that wrong?
Mhm.
That's okay.
It's my fault.
Yeah. When I wasn't, I was doing
Yeah.
Why, we have it here.
Agenda and the script.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, I reversed it.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So, yeah, hi, thanks for allowing me the time to speak. As you all likely know, the Environmental Commission, we look to protect the natural resources of our township, including sustainability and environmental protection. With this discussion and annual report submission, I'm hoping to quickly highlight what we've been doing and touch on our focus area for this coming year. We are seven voting members, 2 alternates, and 5 associates. So we're currently at 14 members, 14 volunteers. We meet 11 months of the year and collectively put in many hours in support of our objectives. In this report, you'll find a high-level overview of these accomplishments. You'll see highlighted the site reviews as I'm scrolling through. I'm not sure if you can see them in any detail, but again, this will be available online, and you guys have it submitted for today. I've highlighted the many site reviews that we conduct, the highlights of the year, including the Sustainable Jersey recertification to get bronze. That benefits the township. The Sustainable Landscaping event that we held in this room, as well as in the overflow room, because we had over 90 attendees to that. Our regular newsletter with over 800 recipients that goes out almost every month or every other month. Our poster contest for local students and other outreach events that we conduct. It includes our natural environment and conservation efforts, including the Butterworth Garden, which continues to flourish under our member, Kelly Schechter, underneath his oversight, our engagement with the county to help support the removal of the invasive Phragmites near the Washington Valley Schoolhouse. We've also done a lot of collaboration. We have strong ties with our neighbors and collaborated with the Madison Environmental Commission to hold a forum to educate nearby environmental commissions and township committee members about the benefits of a dark sky legislation. So I wanted to thank again Jeff Grayzel, who attended and provided the open remarks to that event that we shared in Madison. In terms of education, we continue to ensure we are providing the most value and not causing any harm, and always trying to improve the township by focusing a lot on our education. We focus a lot on that. We've conducted tours around the town. We've taken 3 trips this year to the sewage. Last year, 2025, we visited the sewage treatment plant, Unity Charter School, and the DPW and county composting sites. So those trips were very informative. We had special guests come to our meetings, and we attend many educational sessions online and in person. So just as a recap, what you see in this report are 14 residents. Oh, I'm sorry. And here's the many online, the many sessions that we attend, training, certifications that we go through. And so just to recap, right, there's 14 residents here that are very passionate about making Morris Township a better place to live, spending their discretionary time to educate themselves to make better informed decisions so we as a township can collectively benefit. I commend all of the EC members and thank them for their hard work and dedication. I want to also give a big, huge thanks to the administration for their support. Mr. Quinn's support is essential for us to be able to do the things we do. Additionally, we were all blown away by the professionalism and expertise of the township employees when we go on our tours and our other interactions, as well as the EC Secretary Annalise is amazing, and I don't know what we would do without her. I want to especially thank Deputy Mayor Jonnada and Councilman Grayzel for being our liaisons for the past 2 years, and welcome Mayor Guariglia as our liaison joining us this year with Siva. Lessons learned. So no review would be complete without discussing the lessons learned. There were several areas where we did not see as much progress as hoped. I see the most successful ECs in the area. When I speak with them, they have clear partnerships with the township councils and administrations. They are leveraged as partners as an extension of the team to help promote and enact their priorities. I feel our EC has a lot of opportunity in this area, and we we are an untapped resource for the township. I'm encouraged by early discussions with our liaisons, Donna and Siva, that we can have goals that are not just EC goals, but township goals that we collectively work towards together. Our current list of objectives include getting an environmental resource inventory, an ERI, and I thank the council and Mr. Quinn for adding to tonight's agenda a resolution to support a 10,000 grant to get an ERI. We have a list of suggested ordinances that we're pushing from the EC based upon neighbors and state best practices. We have more outreach, education, and improvement planned, which I can happily share. As mentioned, I'm hoping to hear more clearly what the Township Council's priorities are so that we can help drive the environmental change that we both want. Having township-wide sustainable environment goals would give tremendous benefits to our town and give us greater purpose and focus. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Brian. Do any committee members have questions or comments for Brian?
Well, I just want to say that as a semi-participant as well as a liaison to the EC, I can see how the volunteers at the EC Environmental Commission have done a very well, commendable job, and we encourage you to continue doing it. And all your suggestions we do take into consideration, and we try to weld it with what is doable and what may not be able to be done at this point. But I especially liked the sustainable landscaping forum that we had. It was well attended, and as the pictures showed there, and also the sustainable jersey drawings. I know we're trying to get to silver, and I'm sure we're going to get there with everybody's help. And the town administration has helped very well, mightily on that, with the health department and engineering and DPW. They all played a part in getting us into a higher level of bronze. So next year, silver. Thanks.
Following tonight's approval for receiving for the record, then the report will be posted up on the Morris Township website on the environmental page tomorrow morning.
If there are no other comments, Brian, I just want to say to you, I'm excited to be the liaison this year on the Environmental Commission. And again, we value all of our volunteers. The residents that live in the township are amazing. But I have to tell you, this guy is like, I mean, he'll have a phone call with Steve and I, and he'll have a 2-page agenda. I mean, he is on top of all of this. Under his leadership, I think that's why the EC works as hard as they do. You show such dedication to just trying to make this be a better place for everybody. So thank you very much, and we appreciate you coming in to do the report.
Yeah, and Mayor, if I could just add, I always say that the volunteers are part of the backbone of this community. We can't do it all ourselves, and the volunteers provide such a tremendous service on behalf of everybody else. But the chairs, all the chairs of the committees and the planning board and the zoning board, they do a lot extra. So just extra thank you for stepping up and being the chair and continuing to be the chair, because I know how much extra work that is. Thank you, Brian.
And thank you, Brian, and to the entire committee. We appreciate the work that you do. It's a vital function in the municipality.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So now we will go to the public commentary. There are currently 12 members of the public joining us via Zoom and 8 here in person. We will first take comments from in-person attendees, then we'll switch over to Zoom. Please use the raise hand function in Zoom if you would like to speak. Please state your name and if you are a resident or non-resident for the record. Please note that comments are limited to 5 minutes per speaker. If you have questions you would like answered, your remaining time to speak will be yielded back for this purpose. Is there a motion to open the public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Welcome.
Hi, guys. Tamara Wishergrad, 32 Cadena Road, Morris Township. I wanted to thank you for your proclamation on Black History Month, which is vital at this particular moment in history. It's part of what brings me out today. We all know that Morristown and Morris Township are of great historical importance. George Washington spent lousy winters here. We all know about it. And we're rightly proud to live in a place where so much history was made. But I want to tell you about something. Right here in Morris Township on the Patriots Path, right off of Washington Valley Road, there are a couple of informational signboards. They've been there for a long time, and they talk about the farms that existed on that land from the 18th to the 20th centuries, who owned them, the agricultural practices they used, what farm life was like, blah, blah, blah. They are detailed, and they have a lot of text. I have some images of them if anybody's interested. I can give you those later or now. You have to read quite a bit down those signs before you get to a sentence which is very near the end of the second signboard. And it reads as follows. Some of the early families also owned slaves to do extra work, the way later farmers would own machines. Some of the early families also owned slaves to do extra work, the way later farmers would own machines. All this information about people who owned the land, the names, the dates, the marriages, the children, their lime kiln, their homes, their outbuildings. And this is the only mention of the enslaved people who lived and worked that land. People who were no less important than the white people who enslaved them. So why did I decide to bring this up here tonight? Because it now matters maybe more than ever. I'd like to read you. This is from an article from WHYY yesterday. A federal judge on Monday ruled the Trump administration must restore the slavery exhibits at the President's House site on Independence Mall in Philadelphia, while the case over the National Park Service's actions continue. In January, employees from the National Park Service removed the display that detailed the lives of 9 people George Washington enslaved at his home while he was president. U.S. District Judge Cynthia Roof compared the administration's rationale for removing the signs detailing slavery to the Ministry of Truth in George Orwell's 1984, a dystopian novel about authoritarianism. Here's what she said, quote, "As if the Ministry of Truth in George Orwell's 1984 now existed with its motto, ignorance is strength, this court is now asked to determine whether the federal government has the power it claims to dissemble and disassemble historical truths when it has some domain over historical facts." Roof wrote in her decision, it does not. So, I'm here to ask you for 3 things. 1, some of the early families also owned slaves to do extra work the way later farmers would own machines. Not only is this woefully inadequate acknowledgement of enslaved people, this is dehumanizing language as though enslaved people are farm equipment. It's not acceptable. These signs must be removed. And if you don't have the authority to do it, find out who does. Talk to them. Get it done. Number 2, if that location matters enough to put up those signs that stood there for decades, then it matters enough to replace them with better signs that tell the stories of all the people who lived there, not just white owners, but enslaved African Americans, Native Americans who were displaced from that land, immigrant laborers. Anyone who was there is of historical value. This should be researched, and when we have that missing information, let's get new signs. And third of all, please don't stop there. How many people around here know that slaves worked on the land where we all live? You can't swing a dead cat in Morristown without learning about George Washington and the Schuyler's and Alexander Hamilton and the Marquis de Lafayette. But do people know anything about who was here when Europeans arrived, other than the words Lenni Lenape? We all know the words. Do we know about enslaved black people, free black people? Do we know about the immigrants who settled here?
I apologize to interrupt, but you're at your 5-minute.
Okay, so to finish what I'm saying, I'm asking you to spend some money for research, to learn about the history of our area, and to institute programs and signage to educate people about all the people who have lived here because it matters. We need to save our history.
So thank you very much. I don't know if you remember when Kathy Wilson was deputy mayor. Kat, you came, I can't remember if you came here, but we went and looked at the signs, and it was my understanding, and I'll check, that the county was notified about replacing the signs and doing research. Obviously, that, has fallen through the cracks, but we'll follow up.
Yeah, the signs are still there.
No, I know they're there.
Yeah, no, they're still there, but I do remember that, and I do remember, and it's, again, for so many reasons now, but this is a really important one, to get new signs and take out the language that's in.
I can reach out to the executive directors.
Yep.
Do you need images that I brought, or?
If you have them, I'll take them, but you can leave them there. I'll pick them up when we're done.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Also, thank you for mentioning what happened in Philadelphia. I was going to mention that, but thank you, saved me that few minutes of that.
You're welcome.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I could also add, I believe those signs were installed and paid for by the Washington Valley Community Association, not the county.
Correct. That's their moniker is on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can speak to the county. It is county property and they got permission to put them
To
up.
put them up.
But the community association is the one that originally put them up.
Do you know when they were put?
I want to say about 12 years ago. They were, what?
They've been up a long time.
Yeah, 12, 14 years ago. I think I was on the board of the community association when we voted on spending money to put them up. Yeah, so maybe, yeah, it could be,
I have to call Sue Young.
yeah. Yeah, maybe more, maybe more than a dozen. Yeah.
Is there anybody else in person who would like to go to the podium? Sir?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. And the first thing I want to say is, well, first, I'm Steve Laris. I live at 20 Oak Park Drive. My wife, Andrea. We're there for 28 years. Wonderful township. We love everything about this place. We recently got a tree from the township. Everybody was very professional. It was very easy for us to pick the tree that we wanted. The group that came in and put it in did a beautiful job. And I hope that program continues. It's a really nice little thing that you guys did, and it was well appreciated. The reason I'm here is really about Woodruff Road again. Woodruff Road, when we first moved here 28 years ago, was a small little community road, and now it's really a major thoroughfare. I know Administrator Quinn and the police chief were very nice to do a traffic study there, but we really do need a couple of things, maybe some signage, because there is a big turn there. You don't really see who's coming around the turn. Now that we have this soccer facility, it's used as a thoroughfare more than ever. Maybe we could consider, the committee can consider speed bumps. I know there's no speed bumps allowed in the township. Maybe it's time we start to reconsider that. I think it would be perfect place to have a couple speed bumps there. And the last thing is, we have a beautiful sidewalk on the left-hand side as you go down towards the Arboretum. There's nothing on the right, which is okay, but we need to have a little bit of a cutout because there was tons of snow there. So if you're walking across with your dog, in my case with my dog, my wife with our dog, you have to climb over the big hump of snow to get to the sidewalk, and you have to do it very quickly. We have some people on our block that walk a lot as therapy. They're somewhat disabled. And we just really need to do something there before someone really gets hurt. This is the second time I'm here. I don't really want to come back here again if there's something that we could do. The last thing I wanted to mention, actually two other things. Oak Park Drive, the road is the worst that I've seen it in 28 years. I know it's very expensive to keep up the roads in the township, but maybe we need to have someone come and take a look because we have a lot of potholes. We have a lot of, kind of gravelly that the road is dug up. And then the last thing is, of course, and I know you guys are very familiar with this, but where Woodruff Road, you have that triangle where Woodruff Road meets that thoroughfare, it's Columbia Turnpike. Every other week, there's an accident there. And people have been hurt. You had a police officer flip a police vehicle right at that corner. Something needs to be done. You need to either write a letter to the state or the county, but that's got to be changed. Something has to be done because someone's really going to get hurt. These have been car accidents. You lose your car, you go out and buy a new car. It's no big deal. But if someone really gets hurt there, and God forbid someone gets killed, every other week there's an accident there, and the township really needs to start to do something about that one little intersection over there. Besides that, you guys are doing a great job. We love it here. Hopefully we'll be here another 28 years. Thank you for the tree.
Thank you very much for your comments. Mr. Quinn will address some of the issues with the Woodruff Road
Yep.
progress and
Following our traffic study, where we looked at that, one of the things that we can do, there was not an issue where there was significant speeding, but there was a significant volume of traffic there, is to do what's called lane narrowing, and that's to put in the white fog lines and to bring the lanes down from the curb, and it brings them down to about 11 feet. So our Department of Public Works is working with our contractor for this spring, and we're going to be doing lane narrowing on Woodruff Road from Whippany Road all the way out to Columbia Road there. And that has shown that it's decreased speeds when we've done it on other roads in the township, such as on Old Glen Road, Turtle Road. It's been effective, so we will be doing that for that this spring. Speed bumps is another tricky one, and it's also regulated by the state as to regulations, and the volume of cars that go down Woodruff Road would, if the township is even willing to do them, it far exceeds what's permitted to use speed bumps because of the volume of traffic that is on that roadway. It is a major thoroughfare between two county roads. We know that there's a significant amount of traffic that uses that roadway every single day. Moving on to the intersection of Columbia Road, we've been working with the county on that and getting the accident histories and looking for solutions to that. And working with the county, we are changing the timing cycle on that to increase the double red for intersections. So it'll give it additional time in between switching from a red light to a green light. So hopefully some of those accidents where somebody running a red light at the last minute, now we'll have a double red for a period of time on that. So I believe they may have already taken care of that, but that was the one recommendation from the county who has the oversight of that intersection, and see how that works if it's going to reduce the accidents for that location.
Follow up with a question. Can we get additional signage on Woodruff Road? Is that possible? Either a be careful sign, or people crossing, or 25 mile an hour zone, or 30. I think it's 30 miles.
35. We can take a look at for the speed limits there. The crosswalking, there should be signage for the crosswalks. I know we looked at the crosswalk at one location by Oak Park, but the issue there was sight distance. It wouldn't be safe to encourage somebody to walk across the street, and somebody coming around wouldn't have enough time to stop if they were in the crosswalk. But yes, I can have our police department take a look at the signage, especially the speed limit signage.
Thank you very much.
And obviously on Oak Park Drive, Tim, we go out, especially after the winter months.
I'm
And
sorry.
oh, sorry.
I didn't address that. I apologize. Go ahead.
That's okay. No, go ahead. I mean, we check for all the
We evaluate every road every year,
potholes. Yeah.
and goes into the budget. The Township Committee appropriates $800,000 for road repaving, plus another $90,000 for crack sealing every year, in addition to our reconstruction projects. So we'll be going out once the weather's a little bit better, and we have a system that's mounted, and it takes a picture of all of the roadways, and then it evaluates them, and then it rates all the roads, and then we work with our Department of Public Works along with the standing committee that has the oversight, and we select the roads for the repaving for this year, and then the repaving is usually done in the August, September after the capital budget's adopted in June. So, but we've had concerns with Oak Park, so I think it's pretty high on the list, and if it's going to be in the next round, but I know it will be in the short term.
Tim, what's the meaning of the double red?
So
Is it two actual red lights, or is it just
no.
double timing?
Double timing. So on Normandy Heights Road and Columbia Road will both be red at the same time for a short period of time.
Oh, that's what.
So,
Okay.
Traffic through.
right, to really stop it.
So it stops the traffic, and just delays.
Yep.
So it doesn't turn red.
Yeah.
And
And the other turns
Yeah,
green.
no, I
So
get
they're
it.
both red
and it gives a little short time, so if somebody runs the red light,
Mhm.
the person who gets the green light is not proceeding into the intersection.
Gotcha. One other idea for signage is, since there's a crosswalk there now to the museum, maybe we can have a pedestrian with an arrow pointer sign or something like that to indicate there are pedestrians in the area. Is there such a sign?
I will look at the well, it has to, as you know, it has to meet the MUTCD.
Uh-huh.
If it does, I know there's advanced warning signs for crosswalks.
Mhm.
We'll take a look at that.
Okay.
Anybody else in person? If not, we'll go over to Zoom. And Charlie, do you have a question?
Yes, hi. Charlie Schachter, 10 Raleigh Court. More of just comment than question. Well, maybe question as well at the end. So first, I just wanted to thank Brian Morgan for his work as the commissioner of the, chairperson of the Environmental Commission. He does an amazing job, and all credit is due to him. It is through my work on the Environmental Commission that I became aware of the issue of gas leaf blowers, and I know I've spoken to you all now 3 months in a row about this, and I'll continue to come back and talk to you about it. I just wanted to update you right now on some research I was doing that I thought was kind of interesting. I was looking more into the noise ordinances that we had discussed last month. And I just want to remind again that noise is not a nuisance issue. It is a health issue. And the township's noise ordinance does, in its findings say excessive sound is a serious hazard to public health. So I'd like to approach this with that in mind. Looking at the tables, it appears that, to my knowledge, and anyone can tell me if I'm wrong here, that 65 decibels appears to be the standard for daytime, for residential, and 24 hours for all other properties. So 65 decibels is our baseline. I did a little research on sort of what is the market leader for commercial gas leaf blowers, and it appears to be the Echo 9010T. So I'm just going to use that as a benchmark. It is rated by the manufacturer at 79.3 decibels. So again, right now the standard in the township is 65. The leaf blower is rated at 79.3. The difference is 14.3 decibels, which may not sound like a lot. But I also learned that decibels are a logarithmic scale, not arithmetic. So the truth is that a 14-point difference in decibels means that the sound is 27 times more intense, which is perceived by the human ear as 2.5 times louder. So I'll just repeat that once again. The Echo 9010T leaf blower is 2.5 times louder than the 65 decibel sound limit set by the township. So I understand the need for exceptions. I just think that an exception that is 2.5 times the standard seems not necessarily to pass the common sense test. And then the second thing about the exception is that I noticed that the equipment that is accepted sort of in a group with lawn, landscape and yard maintenance equipment is heavy equipment, power tools. And heavy equipment is even listed as bulldozers, backhoes, dump trucks, etc. Well, I got to tell you, in 24 years of living in the township, I'm not sure I've ever heard a bulldozer nearby. So even if there were a bulldozer, even if a property were being constructed near me, I think that would be a matter of weeks or months. Whereas the gas leaf blower is something that comes back week after week, season after season. It is not a one-time type thing like heavy equipment and power tools. So I would just urge the Township Committee to re-examine that ordinance, to look at the exceptions, and really think hard about whether, again, 2.5 times the standard is a reasonable exception. That's it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate.
And
Go ahead.
you went through where the exemption is for landscaping equipment?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
And yes, and again, I just don't see, landscaping equipment as being really in the same category as the other heavy equipment listed, which would be much more of an occasional or one-time use versus regular use. And yeah, and then just the, again, logarithmic nature of decibels. Really, the math is. I mean, I was really surprised by those numbers, but it makes sense to me because I think this is why you guys get so many complaints, is because anything that's 2.5 times the standard that you've set is likely to cause issues.
Again, Charlie, thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
As we continue to look at this, the Township Committee continues to look at it. Appreciate the work that you are doing and the information we're getting from the surrounding municipalities as well.
And I appreciate you listening to me and giving me your time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Jim O'Reilly. Mr. O'Reilly, do you have a question? Jim, can you hear us? You have your hand up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. 2 questions. First, I miss Mark Jeffery already.
So do we.
Right, and I'm sure he'll do a good job where he's going. How will his replacement be chosen?
So right now, currently, what happens in this process, and we actually have the MTDC chair in the audience here, so if he has to approach the mic, you're welcome to do that, George. Just to, there's a nominating committee from the Morris Township Democratic Committee. And tomorrow night, Jim, there's a convention being held, the MTDC convention. There are 7 candidates who have come forward to be appointed. So tomorrow night at that convention, there'll be a report from the nominating committee, then there'll be a vote taken, and the MTDC has to come forth with 3 candidates to turn over to the township committee members, who then review those candidates and make a decision. And actually, George is at the podium. If maybe, George, you want to give him the timeline.
Yes, so Jim, is George Quillen, and everything Mayor Guariglia said is correct. The Township Democratic Committee has 15 days from the date that Mark Jeffery resigned to give the Township Committee a list of 3 names, and the Township Committee then chooses from those 3 names. And we're going to hopefully have a vote tomorrow night to determine who the 3 people are, whose names we will give to the Township Committee on Friday.
Is the time and place of the meeting to be public knowledge, or is that confidential within the Township Democratic Committee?
Well, I only invited people who are members of the committee, so I'd be happy to talk to you afterward about it, but yeah, I did not publicly announce it.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
My second question.
Yep.
Jim, if I could,
Hold on.
sorry, if I could add one thing, just so you understand that this is a state statute that we're following. This is not something locally that's been implemented. We're just following state statute locally to fill a vacant position on the governing body.
I understand that you're following the law.
Good point, and I never would have invented such a system.
Okay, Jim, your next question?
Next question, I have to ask you, turn this over. Oh, can I ask a question now about ordinances for introduction?
If it's a specific one, you can.
Yeah, okay. What is this, all the ordinances affecting Chapter 95 zoning of the code, Township of Morris, by adding different zones and everything? Let's see, there's 0426, 0526, 0626, 0726, 0826, 0926.
Yeah, Jim, you don't have to read them. They're all the affordable housing.
What do they do?
Well, I think we're going to give an intro, right? No?
That would be on the night of the.
On the night of the,
What they are is, as Mr. O'Reilly, you know, every municipality in the state of New Jersey is subject to the fourth round affordable housing. And there's very strict timelines on when things have to get done. We've been in this process since October of 2024, have been going through it. The township has an obligation of 375 affordable housing units that Township Committee has been working on to meet. That requires us to meet with a number of different property owners and developers to put this plan into place so that we are compliant with the state statute for affordable housing. We've been before the judge, the master who is handling all this. Our projects have been received and approved so that we are not subject to what they call builder's remedy lawsuits. So the township has to move forward on these 7 different properties that will provide an affordable housing component to meet our obligation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Seeing no other members of the public wishing to speak, will someone make a motion to close public comment?
One last comment.
Next time.
Okay.
There's another round.
There's the second
another
round.
In the second round.
Okay, great, thank you.
Mayor, I'll move the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This evening, we have 3 ordinances scheduled for public hearing and adoption. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 01-26 into the record, after which we will open the public hearing.
Ordinance 0126, an ordinance of the Township of Morris authorizing the execution of an amended historic preservation easement agreement between the Township of Morris, the Township of Morristown, and the Morris County Board of County Commissioners. Note, amends the historic preservation easement for the Morristown and Morris Township Library.
We will take comments from in-person attendees first, and then we'll switch over to Zoom. Please virtually raise your hand if Zoom if you would like to speak. May I have a motion to open public hearing on ordinance number 01-26?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Hold on. Seeing no members in person or anybody on Zoom, may I have a motion to close
So moved.
public comment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 01-26?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Jonnada?
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz?
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel?
Yes.
Mayor Griglia?
Yes. I, Donna J. Guariglia, Mayor, declare ordinance number 01-26 approved and adopted, and direct the Township Clerk to publish proper notice thereof in the official newspaper. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 02-26 into the record, and then we will open the public hearing.
02-26, an ordinance of the Township of Morris authorizing the execution of a lease agreement between the Township of Morris and the Morristown Wildcats Football Club. Note, authorizes a lease of the field house at Cornine Field to the Morristown Wildcats Football Club.
We'll take comments from in-person attendees first, then we'll switch over to Zoom. Please virtually raise your hand on Zoom if you would like to speak. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 02-26?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Seeing no members of the public wishing to speak, will someone make a motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, before you proceed with the vote,
Yes.
may I ask a question?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn, you're probably the one to answer this. I hadn't seen before that the term of the lease is for 5 years. Is this subject to an annual review and possible cancellation? Or is it full 5 years, no?
Yes, we have an
stipulation?
annual review requiring us to inspect the property.
And is there a way of us getting out of this contract for 5 years?
No, we're signing a 5-year contract as long as they act in good faith. It would be 5 years. This is not something new. We've had previous contracts for the last 20 plus years. They're all 5-year contracts.
And they were 5-year contracts with who?
With the Wildcats, before them, the Morristown Colonials.
Okay. I mean, yeah. And given the recent issues that we had at the field house, is 5 years warranted?
That's why we put all the things to this contract to prevent that from happening again.
And is it that within the ordinance?
It is.
It is?
What are you asking? What is in the ordinance?
About that, you said there is stipulations in the ordinance that they follow.
Oh, yeah, they have to follow. They can't do any improvements. They can't do anything without our permissions. They have to have inspections. We put a lot of tight controls into it for the oversight.
Great. And if they violate it, can we terminate the contract? Or if they're not in conformance?
Mr. Cantor says we can.
Mr. Cantor says we can?
The attorney, it would have to go back to attorney review.
But that,
There's provisions that if there's somebody that's not compliant to any contract, that the contract can be voided.
Mm-hmm.
But it would take a legal action.
okay. Personally, I'm a little uncomfortable with a 5-year term.
No, it's been reviewed by the Park and Rec Advisory Committee. It's not, it was out the meeting, last meeting. It's not.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
We didn't move the ordinance yet.
Sue says we did.
We read the ordinance.
Did we
We
move it?
We opened-
We opened it.
We didn't move to
No,
adopt.
we only
it.
did the comment.
So I'll move to adopt it.
Second.
Well, then I thought we did, and that's when you asked your question. But anyway,
I
okay.
did before.
Now, Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Okay. Mr. Jonnada?
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz?
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel?
Under advisement of the Parks and Recreation Committee, I will vote yes, with on the record noting my, no, seriously, noting my hesitation
I don't
previously.
know how to note that.
Duly noted.
Yes.
Oh, and Mayor Guariglia?
Yes.
Okay.
I, Donna J. Guariglia, Mayor, declare ordinance number 02-26 approved and adopted, and direct the Township Clerk to publish proper notice thereof in the official newspaper. Madam Clerk, please read the title of the last ordinance for public hearing and adoption into the record, after which we'll open the public hearing.
Ordinance 03-26, an ordinance amending Chapter 367 entitled Parks, Playgrounds, and Public Places, Section 5 and 6. Note amends park use fees, permits, and insurance requirements.
We'll take comments from the people in person first, then we'll switch over to Zoom. Please raise your hand on Zoom if you would like to speak. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 03-26?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Seeing no members in person or on Zoom, will someone make a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 03-26?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, yes, I have a comment. Somebody made a comment to me about the wear and tear at Cornine Field over the years and the cost that eventually it's going to, cost the township to replace it. Tim, remind me, when was Cornine Field put in?
In 2018,
In 2008. And what's the usual lifespan of a turf field?
10 to 12 years, we are budgeting it and they plan to replace it in approximately 2031.
So somebody had suggested that the user fees for Cornine in particular, since it's turf, should be higher, so that we can put those monies away, so that when it's time to resurface the field, it's not all on the taxpayers, it's on the user base who uses that field, and so it's a little bit more of a shared cost. And I just wanted to pass along that comment in relation to Cornine Field.
Okay,
Noted.
We don't
thank you.
We don't charge for our youth leagues to use the fields if they're a nonprofit.
So there are no user fees in here for Cornine Field.
Well, there are user fees if they're a for-profit organization or they don't have an affiliation to the township. Yes, there's user fees. But for the organizations that do not have paid staff, that organizations that are just supporting the kids, like Morristown National Little League sometimes uses Cornine. That we don't charge them fees for using the fields.
In addition, the fees wouldn't come anywhere close to covering the cost of a new turf.
It's
Not
not
only that,
They're negligible fees.
they would put the fees on the backs of the kids,
correct.
the participants,
Uh-huh.
so,
Just
Roll
a
call.
suggestion
Okay.
that somebody
okay,
made
thank
to
you,
defray the costs.
thank you. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Ravitz,
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel,
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes. I, Donna J. Guariglia, Mayor, declare ordinance number 03-26 approved and adopted, and direct the Township Clerk to publish proper notice thereof in the official newspaper. We have 12 ordinances for introduction on tonight's agenda. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 04-26 into the record.
04-26, amending Chapter 95, zoning of the Code of the Township of Morris by adding the MFTH-AH zone and adopting associated regulations. 60 Columbia Road, Block 9301, Lot 8.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 04-26?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion or any questions? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Grayzel,
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes. The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 04-26 will be held at a special Township Committee meeting on Monday, March 9th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 50 Woodland Avenue. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 05-26 into the record.
05-26, amending Chapter 95, zoning of the Code of the Township of Morris by adding the TH8AH2 zone and adopting associated regulations. 221A/227 Sussex Ave, Block 601, Lot 16, and Lot 18.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 05-26?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion or questions? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Grayzel,
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes. The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 05-26 will be held at a special meeting on Monday, March 9th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 50 Woodland Avenue. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 06-26 into the record.
06-26, amending Chapter 95, zoning of the Code of the Township of Morris by adding the TH15AH zone and adopting associated regulations. 300 Madison Ave, Block 8601, Lot 4.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 06-26?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes, the public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 06-26 will be held at a special Township Committee meeting on Monday, March 9th at 6 p.m. at the Municipal Building, Woodland Avenue. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 07-26 into the record.
07-26, amending Chapter 95, zoning of the Code of the Township of Morris by adding the TH5AH zone and adopting associated regulations. 100 Southgate Parkway, Block 7101, Lot 2.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 07-26 into the record?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes, the public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 07-26 will be held at the special Township Committee meeting Monday, March 9th at 6 p.m. at the Municipal Building. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 08-26 into the record.
08-26, amending Chapter 95, zoning of the Code of the Township of Morris by adding the TH6/AH2 zone and adopting associated regulations. 291 James Street, Block 6705, Lot 5.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 08-26?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes, The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 08-26 will be held at a special Township Committee meeting on Monday, March 9th at 6 p.m. at the Municipal Building. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 09-26 into the record.
09-26, amending Chapter 95, zoning of the Code of the Township of Morris by adding the SNH zone and adopting associated regulations. 4 Old Turnpike Road, Block 8602, Lot 10.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 09-26 into the record?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes. The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 09-26 will be held at a special Township Committee meeting on March 9th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Municipal Building. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 10-26 into the record.
10-26, an ordinance of the Township of Morris, Morris County, New Jersey, adopting the amended Mount Campbell Avenue redevelopment plan regarding the property identified on the Township's tax map as Block 5506, Lot 25, 95 Mount Campbell Ave, and Block 5605, Lots 5, 6, and 7 and 8, 102, 106, and 108 Mount Campbell Ave, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing laws, NJSA 40A:12A-1.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 10-26?
So
into the
moved.
record?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I have a question.
Committeeman
So
Grayzel.
the second parcel that listed 102, 104, 106, and 108 Mount Kimball was the old thrift store site. Is it, that wasn't, Tim, that wasn't one site? It appears it's multiple sites.
There's multiple sites because there's 3 sites. You got the parking lot, you have the bargain box where it was, and then you have 2 small houses to the south that are all part of the property owned by Atlantic Health.
So the first 2 houses are part of this lot, and they would come down as part of this redevelopment?
They've already come down, sir.
They've already come down.
Yes, they're all owned by Atlantic Health.
When did the houses come down?
Approximately 3 months ago.
Got to get over to that side of town, Jeff.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Okay, I assume they weren't, so I assume they weren't historic homes, like the Brutontown brick homes?
No, they were not.
Okay, thank you.
They were reviewed, all of our demolition gets reviewed by the Historic Preservation before we do the demolition permits.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes. The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 10-26 will be held at the special meeting on Monday, March 9th at 6 p.m. at the Municipal Building. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 11-26 into the record.
11-26, amending Chapter 95, zoning, and Chapter 57, land development of the Code, the Township of Morris. Note, affordable housing regulations for the 4th round.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 11-26?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes, the public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 11-26 will be held at a special Township Committee meeting on Monday, March 9th at 6 p.m. at the Municipal Building. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 12-26 into the record.
12-26, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Morris, repealing and replacing Article 4, Section 385-15 through 385-21 of the Code of the Township of Morris. Note, bamboo regulations.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 12-26?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Mr.
would-
Ravitz?
If it's
Come in.
possible, Mr. Quinn, could you explain to the public what these new bamboo regulations are?
This is to fortify the existing bamboo. We have a number of instances where existing bamboo has transgressed onto neighboring properties. The present ordinance, any bamboo that had been planted prior to the ordinance taking place was exempt. It doesn't address the current problem we have with about
15 or so properties in the township where we have bamboo going from one property to another. So this allows the enforcement to require the property owners to remove that bamboo if it transgresses onto somebody else's property, and they can't say that their bamboo was planted prior to the ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes. The public, go ahead. No, go, Committeeman
Sorry,
Grayzel.
I had one more question before we got to the vote. Tim, with regard to planting new bamboo, this primarily addresses existing bamboo where it's transgressed onto other properties. But just to be clear, you can't plant new bamboo, right?
And that's also in the previous ordinance that was adopted about 4 years ago. You cannot plant new bamboo. You are allowed to have bamboo if you have it in a container. That's so it can't spread, but you cannot this did not change that regulation in the ordinance about not being able to plant bamboo. That's still in existence.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Sorry,
Thank
Mayor.
you. No, that's okay. The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 12-26 will be held at the next regular Township Committee meeting on Wednesday, March 18th at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance 13-26 into the record.
13-26, an ordinance of the Township of Morris, County of Morris, concerning salaries for non-union personnel.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 13-26?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes, the public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 13-26 will be held at the next regular Township Committee meeting on Wednesday, March 18th at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance number 14-26 into the record.
14-26, an ordinance appropriating $195,000 available in the General Capital Fund balance to provide for part of the cost of various capital improvements by the Township of Morris. Note, uses $195,000 from the General Capital Fund for capital project improvements.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 14-26?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? The public hearing, may I have a roll call vote?
Oh, yeah.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes. The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 14-26 will be held at the next regular Township Committee meeting on March 18th at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building. Madam Clerk, please read the title of the last ordinance into the record.
15-26, an ordinance appropriating $195,000 available in the Sewer Utility Capital Fund balance to provide for part of the cost of various capital improvements by the Township of Morris. Note, uses $195,000 from the Sewer Utility Capital Fund for capital project improvements.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 15-26?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes. The public hearing and final consideration of ordinance number 15-26 will be held at the next regular Township Committee meeting on March 18th at 7 p.m. in the Municipal Building. We have 12 resolutions on tonight's agenda. May I have a motion to approve resolutions number 50-26 through 61-26 by one motion?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada.
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel.
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia.
Yes. We have 5 items on the consent calendar this evening. May I have a motion to approve all items on the consent calendar in a single motion?
So second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The consideration of monthly reports. The following reports are on record with the Township Clerk and Township Administrator. The December 2025 Police and Joint Municipal Court and the January 2026 Tax Collector, Joint Municipal Court, and the Morris Township Library. May I have a motion to approve the monthly reports?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Claims for payment and the list of bills and vouchers. The total amount of bills and vouchers for this meeting is $13,070,059.18. We are also the tax collector for the school district, the library, and the county. May I have a motion to approve the list of bills and vouchers?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Grayzel?
Yes.
Mr. Jonnada?
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz?
Yes.
Mayor Guariglia?
Yes. Received for the record, we have 5 items listed as received for the record on tonight's agenda. These items are being acknowledged and entered into the official record. At this time, we will now go to our standing committee reports and general commentary from each member of the Township Committee, and we will start with Mr. Ravitz, Committeeman Ravitz.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Just a quick word of thanks to former Mayor and Committeeman Mark Giorfi on his dedication of service to Morris Township. I'll have more to say next month when we formally honor his tenure on the Township Committee. I don't have any urgent committee reports to give you this month, so I am going to beg your indulgence as I summarize an important President's Day message from a former president. On President's Day this year, former President George W. Bush published an essay reflecting on the leadership of George Washington. Regardless of party affiliation or ideology, the essay offers a timely reminder of a principle that sits at the very foundation of our democracy. Power in America is meant to be exercised with restraint and ultimately relinquished. President Bush wrote that few qualities inspired him more than Washington's humility. The word humility is not always the first trait we associate with political leadership. We tend to think of strength, resolve, vision, or decisiveness. But Washington's greatness, as the essay argues, rested in something quieter and arguably more profound: his willingness to step back from power when he could have clung to it. After leading the Continental Army to victory, my history lesson that Siva Jonnada usually gives, Washington was arguably the most powerful man in the new nation. There were voices urging him to assume even greater authority. Instead, he resigned his military commission and returned home to Mount Vernon. In doing so, he established a precedent that the military answers to civilian authority and that leaders serve the republic and not themselves. Years later, as the nation's first president, Washington again confronted the question of power. He could have continued in office indefinitely. There was no constitutional limit at the time, yet after 2 terms, he stepped aside. As President Bush wrote, Washington could have remained all-powerful, but twice he chose not to. By relinquishing power voluntarily, he enforced the idea that America would not become a monarchy or something worse, but a constitutional republic grounded in the peaceful transitions of authority. That example still shapes us today. The orderly transfer of power, the acceptance of electoral outcomes, and respect for the institutional limits are not procedural technicalities. They are the guardrails that preserve the public trust and democratic stability. President Bush also acknowledged the complexity of Washington's legacy. Washington was a man of his time, including a slaveholder. Yet even in that painful context, Washington's later decision to free the enslaved people he legally controlled through his will demonstrated an evolution in conscience and recognition of the moral contradiction embedded in the young republic. The lesson here is not to sanitize history, but to confront it honestly and recognize that leadership includes the capacity for moral growth. So why does this matter here at the local level? Because the principles Washington embodied do not apply only to presidents. They apply to every elected official at every level of government. In township government, our authority is limited by statute. Our decisions are bound by open meeting laws and ethical standards. Also budget constraints and the will of our residents. That structure is not an inconvenience, it's a design feature. It ensures that no single individual or faction dominates the public square. It ensures transparency. It demands collaboration. Washington's example reminds us that leadership is not about personal advancement, public recognition, or political performance. It's about stewardship. It's about temporarily holding the responsibility on behalf of others and being willing, when the time comes, to pass that responsibility along in good order. It also reminds us that tone matters. Washington modeled restraint in speech and conduct. In an era when public discourse can feel fractured and performative, we would do well to remember that civility is not weakness. It is discipline. It is respect for the office and for the people we serve. As members of the Township Committee, we may not face decisions that alter the course of a nation, but we do make decisions that affect our neighbors about land use, public safety, infrastructure, taxes, environmental protection, and community investment. In those decisions, we are entrusted with public confidence. That trust is fragile. It is earned not through rhetoric, but through integrity, transparency, and an unwavering commitment to the common good. The enduring lesson from Washington, revisited in President Bush's essay, is that American leadership is defined not by accumulation of power, but by its responsible use and its peaceful surrender. The health of our democracy depends less on the ambitions of those who hold office and more on the willingness to honor limits. If we can carry even a fraction of that example into our work here, if we can approach our responsibilities with humility, discipline, and for the respect of the institutions we serve, then we strengthen not just the township, but the democratic tradition that began nearly 250 years ago. And lastly, I want to end up with thank you. When you go about your business each and every day, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, because it can make a world of difference. Mayor?
Thank you, Committeeman Ravitz. Well said. Committeeman Grayzel.
I'll start by continuing the thought that Mr. Ravitz just shared with us. There's a commercial on during the Olympics that's been playing over and over again, which I think is very touching. That we all have to remember that we're on the same team always, and we feel during the Olympic period that we're all rooting for one country, right? One team, the United States. And I think just bouncing off of what you just said, during this Olympic time, we have to remember always that we're on the same team. I have one committee report, and I'm going to first ask Mr. Quinn when the sewer bills are going out or if they've gone out already.
Went out.
You should have gotten yours, sir.
Yeah,
Okay,
they went out.
great. I better look through my mail. So as chair of the sewer committee, you will see that you got a bill in the mail with an increased fee, along with a letter explaining why. We passed an ordinance at the end of last year raising sewer fees. There are a number of significant sewer projects that are on tap. We saw the importance of maintaining sewer facilities with the recent disaster with the Potomac River down in Maryland, and the sewer disaster that happened down there where raw sewage was pouring into the Potomac for a week. That's one particular situation, but our sewer plants, and we have two of them in Morris Township, need constant maintenance, and we also want to make sure that the effluent that we're putting back into the environment is as clean as possible. And so we have a number of major projects coming up that require us to raise those fees to meet those environmental obligations. That's my only committee report for today. I too want to thank Mark Jorfy for his service to the community. I think Mark brought a very unique perspective to this governing body. As many of you know, he was born and raised here and has spent most of his life in Morris Township. And that is a perspective that none of us up here have. And I think we're going to miss that perspective. As much as we all care, obviously, about our community and raising our kids here, he brought that unique perspective that I think we'll miss. So thank you, Mark, for your service to the community, and good luck helping our state along down in Trenton. I also want to acknowledge on the agenda the 3-year appointment of Suzanne Walsh as continuing as our clerk, and I wanted to thank you for all the great service you do on behalf of the community too, and look forward to seeing you every month here on the dais with us. And lastly, we had a lot of ordinances tonight on the agenda related to affordable housing. There's going to be a special meeting, as the mayor mentioned in her remarks, on March 9th, starting at 6 o'clock. But before that date, I urge everybody to read the ordinances that are now posted online for your review. You'll see a lot of details about what's going on there. We also have an affordable housing page on the website that everybody should review. This governing body has been very diligent. Thank you, Mayor Kathy Wilson, for pushing us to inform the community over and over again about the importance of the communication efforts that we do here. And there's a lot of information on that webpage that everybody should review in advance of this March 9th meeting. And as we all know, the state has decreed that every community has to put in affordable housing. I just want to assure the public that Morris Township has done an incredibly thoughtful job in putting in their affordable housing. Other towns have put it on their borders. That's going to impact the neighboring communities. Some other towns have built monstrosities of affordable housing in one location that's going to impact one area of town. This thoughtful plan that we've put together spreads out the obligation that the community has across the entire municipality. And that there's no one section of town that's adversely impacted more than another, I believe. And it's a very thoughtful plan compared to what other communities have done. And I think for that reason, we're going to be one of the first towns in the state to have an approved affordable housing plan. So I just encourage everybody to do your research before you come on March 9th, so you're fully informed and can ask some really good questions of the governing body. And that's it from my remarks,
Thank you,
Mayor.
Committeeman Grayzel. And 2 things I want to point out. One, by Friday, too, on the website, there will be our planner, Liz Laney. There will be a new post kind of recapping where we were, where we've gotten to, and what's happening on the 9th as well. So that should be up by Friday, correct? And the other thing I just want to point out, not an elected official, but there is someone on the dais born and raised and lives in the community with a lot with service, and
Yeah.
that is our administrator, Mr. Quinn.
Yeah.
I don't know how his mom raised 6, right? 5 kids? 6, 5 boys. So said he's still standing in the community.
Yeah.
They all learned it from me.
Hey, Mayor, can I
Yes.
just add one more remark related to that affordable housing meeting on the 9th? So we are sending out the special notice as required, and we're following as best we can the 21-day notice that is on the books here in Morris Township. But given that we are just passing these ordinances tonight and they're going to be published tomorrow, the meeting notice is going out on Friday, correct?
No.
No?
Tomorrow.
It's going out tomorrow.
So it's like
Okay, but
19 days.
Oh, it's going out tomorrow when these are
Yeah.
published. So it's 19 days.
Yeah.
Not the full 21 days. And we apologize in advance, but we tried as hard as we could to meet the obligation.
Yeah, but it is longer than the 10 days.
Yes.
Because of the requirements of the state.
Yeah, it's because of the
Yeah.
requirement. Yeah. And this had to be
Yep.
published before that we could send out the notice. Yep.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Jonnada.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to thank Environmental Commission Chair Ryan Morgan for presenting the highlights of the EC accomplishments in 2025. He mentioned that they applied for a grant to pay for the Environmental Resource Inventory, or ERI. An ERI is a comprehensive compilation of text, maps, and data that details the natural and environmental features such as wetlands, forests, soils, and wildlife habitats. This is, among other things, is needed to help the updating our township's master plan that is to be completed next year. Also, I didn't mention earlier in previous month, there is good news for Drew Forest in Madison. Both Drew University and the Borough of Madison are in the final steps for the borough in purchasing Drew Forest, which is the location of the Buried Valley Aquifer which is the major source of fresh water for 31 municipalities, as well as numerous endangered wildlife and a place where native plants and vernal ponds thrive. Saving this vital area has been an ongoing project not only for Madison, but neighboring municipalities, including Morris Township. We cheer for any good news on this front. And I encourage any people to visit the Drew Forest once the snow is cleared, particularly Zuck Arboretum and Hepburn Forest are two preserved sections that can be toured to see how trees can grow without deer infestation. Both parts are surrounded by, I think, 20-foot-high fences. I also want to thank former mayor, committeeman Mark Jorfy. Although he was much younger than me, I'm not going to say by how much, I benefited from his experience and institutional knowledge he acquired in the 7 years he was on this committee. He is also a fellow alumnus of Morristown High School. I'm wearing a maroon tie here. Mark will be missed, but we know he will help Governor Sherrill and the state in his new position. And thank you for reminding me, Tamara Washer-Grad, about the issues of slavery. So slavery in the Morristown area, there were many prominent families that owned slaves. McCulloch Hall and Washington's headquarters, Ford Mansion, mentions that, maybe not to a full extent. And because Ford Mansion, Washington's headquarters, people don't realize that the Fords also owned slaves, as well as many prominent families in the area. There is a book or a website, some or both, that chronicles the African-American life in the area and also lists the names of prominent families that owned slaves, and that includes the names of these slaves. Also, New Jersey was the last northern state to end slavery gradually. The last slave was freed in 1863. The only state, New Jersey was also the only state not to vote for President Lincoln. And as Ms. Weischer-Grad mentioned, there was a recent slavery exhibit at what was President Washington's home at Philadelphia near Independence Hall. I visited that site about 10 years ago, and I didn't know that President Washington's home was located in what is now Independence Mall. It's right near the Liberty Bell Pavilion. You can still see it. Now, thankfully, you can see the exhibit mentioning the slaves who were there. And one thing about the slaves in Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia had passed an ordinance or law that if a slave was there for more than 6 months, they would be freed. So Washington and other slave-holding members of the government would place their slaves on 5-month rotations. So once the 5-month would go, they would ship one of the slaves back and then replace them with another, and then so they would not be there for the full 6 months, therefore be freed, which is one of the reasons why they moved the capital from Philadelphia to what is now Washington, D.C. And the fact that these exhibits have talked about this, I mean, I found this only when I was reading the exhibit there. The fact that it was removed is really trying to whitewash history. I mean, we always want to see ourselves in the best light, and those who know me, I talk about history and always talk about the great things that this country has done, what this area has been. But we also should know and be aware of the dark side, the things that make us take pause, because it tells us, however great people like President Washington or General Washington were, we also know that they were still human. They had to live at a time where they did awful things, and we need to acknowledge that. And then also to know that history is not just something to inspire, but also something to give us warning. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So my comments, the first thing I want to talk a little bit about is obviously we're right in the middle of budget season. We're starting to wrap everything up. Again, Sean Ferguson, our CFO, and our administrator, Tim Quinn, and everybody, the department heads have done a great job. That being said, we're not going to we're going to be honest, this is a tough year. There's some unexpected increased cost, insurance, pension, work needed on our sewer plants, which will maintain this essential service, rising costs for infrastructure, the possible decreased state and federal funding. These are all contributing to a very tight budget. So we will continue to be fiscally responsible, and we understand the impact on our residents, and we'll do everything we can to try to help. The township still is on the lower side as far as our taxes in Morris County, and any increase will be to ensure that we can continue providing essential services and keep our community safe and vibrant. As far as some of the committee reports, everything just kicked off. The Economic Development Advisory Committee had a good first meeting. They're talking about what they're scheduling, doing a lot of work still with our small business, trying to get a website page up so that we can start to develop some more things with them. Again, Brian, can't thank you enough. Excited about the Environmental Commission, a lot to look forward to. I do want to also mention that on February 28th at 10 a.m. till noon at the Fairchild Firehouse is Coffee with the Mayor. We urge everybody to stop by. It's 2 hours. It's a nice event. We have coffee and munchkins, so please stop by if you can. I had a meeting with our new Assemblywoman, Marissa Sweeney, and we'll be talking to our other committee members. We're going to be putting together things that needs that we see for the township, that in any way she can help, and we're going to have a monthly meeting or call, which I think is really great that she's reached out to do that. I attended a week ago a mental health awareness symposium in Hanover with many of our other municipal mayors. This is something that Mayor Gallagher in Hanover has really taken to heart, and we do a lot of these mental health awareness symposiums with different issues each time, and this one all had to do with high school students, especially high school, and all the problems and stress and pressures and anxiety that they go through. So they actually had a really good, the superintendent there from Hanover did a whole little report on what they do in that school system. And I know here in Morristown too, we have excellent services and in the high school for all of our residents that attend. They're doing everything again. But again, this is a really, for high school students, there's a lot that they're dealing with. So we're going to stay on top of that and help in any way we can. I want to send a very big thank you out to our DPW. I know when we had the 10 inches of snow, there's always some things that come up where driveways get blocked in or, you can't get around corners. But overall, just want to thank our DPW. These guys come in, they work, 2-3 days in a row, and overall did a really good job. So want to thank them. I also want to mention I did go to the OEM flower sale for Valentine's Day. And these are the kinds of things that kind of warm my heart in a town like ours. So again, it's a fundraiser for OEM. But I don't know how many of you know that when you go there and they sell roses and other things for Valentine's Day, but it is, whether they're OEM or the firefighters, they are the ones taking the roses apart and putting them back together with greens and other things. So, here are guys, I said to them, well, when was this part of your training? So it was not, but they are so dedicated and they're in there working all day, putting together these lovely bouquets for people to come in. So that's really special. And again, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this, being such a big Winter Olympics fan. One of the things I don't know if everybody caught, and it was during a hockey game, which is very near and dear to me, not a USA game, but I don't know if any of you saw on social media, there was a time, there was not a game going on yet. Nobody was on the ice, but the whole arena was full, and they were playing Imagine by John Lennon. The entire arena started to sing. It gives me chills almost. It's like an amazing, and that is, which Committeeman Grayzel pointed out, that is one of the things that during the Olympics is so special. And the power to unite us beyond borders, languages, and differences. Competition in sports are a worldwide phenomenon that engage people. The Olympics remind us that our shared humanity, encouraging us to care for one another and embrace our differences, is always there. They ignite compassion and camaraderie, but also cultivate empathy and respect for different traditions and perspectives, uniting us in a way that few other events can. So I hope for those of you who haven't watched it, turn on the Olympics. It's amazing. And again, the respect among athletes from different countries around the world is amazing. We could probably all take a page out of their book to learn how to get along a little bit better. With that said, just want to wish everybody a happy Lunar New Year, Ramadan Mubarak, and Ash Wednesday. And with that, I will close and we will move on to our second public commentary. There are currently 8 members joining us via Zoom, and there are 9 people in person. We will now open for public comment. We'll take comments from in-person people first and then switch over to Zoom. Please raise your hand in Zoom if you would like to speak. Please state your name and whether or not you're a resident, and then you'll be limited to 5 minutes. If you have questions, your remaining time to speak will be yielded back. Is there a motion to open public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hello.
Hi, Larry Savage, and yes, I'm a resident. 9-year resident, first township committee meeting, although my
Welcome.
first overall town committee meeting was in Roxbury a few weeks ago, and that was a pretty powerful one. I'm here to talk about ICE and proactively protecting our community. Renee Good, Alex Preddy, Keith Porter, John Wilson Brutus. I'm here because our community is at a crazy moment in history in the U.S., in New Jersey, and right here in Morris County. We're watching a situation in Roxbury where DHS is looking to open a warehouse to hold 1,500 human beings. The Roxbury Council passed a resolution claiming to oppose this facility, but they also stated clearly that they support ICE. That is a contradiction that offers zero protection. The non-binding resolution is not a shield, it's a press release. We saw the results of that weakness just today. Despite local outrage, condemnation from Senator Booker and others, it looks like the purchase of that Roxbury warehouse by DHS may be moving forward, unconfirmed still. We know that warehouses are for cargo and not for human beings. And we can't afford to be surprised when the buses arrive here next. So I have a letter at home from a member of this committee stating that I'm ready to fight back. I will get ICE and the National Guard out of our communities. And I appreciate that. And to that, I say, let's lead. Instead of waiting for another moment, let's let Morris Township be the spark. Let's lead with our community values and act so strongly that we become the gold standard for the state and the country. We don't just want to do just enough. We'd like to build, we need to build a fortress of local policy that says not here, not ever. So at the state level, they're looking at something called the Values Act. Those are 3 bills that are going to be introduced by Assembly members Ravi Bala and Katie Brennan. But at the town level, we can mirror those. I'm proposing that we call it the Ruin Your Own Town Act or the Riot Act. If these agencies want to ruin a community, they can go ruin their own. They aren't ruining ours. So mirroring these state bills, which I'm not sure if they'll get the support or pass, I'm proposing we adopt local versions of the state bills. So at the state level, there's A 4300, which is a 50% profiteer tax on these detention facilities. We should implement an additional local tax on private detention facilities so massive that it becomes a financial impossibility to operate in Morris Township. If a corporation profits from exploitation, their profits should instead fund the legal defense of our neighbors that they target. There's also A 4301, protecting our police. We must ensure that no federal agent can shut out our local police from a crime scene. Our officers do the incredible work for this community, and their authority in this town must never be sidelined or bullied by outside agencies. Lastly, there's A4302, integrity of public service. This is about who teaches our children and who patrols our streets. We must ensure that nobody who has worked for ICE during this cruel administration will ever work in law enforcement or educate our children here in Morris Township. This will eventually be recorded as a shameful chapter in American history. I think it already is being recorded that way. But today we have the chance to be the ones who stood up. I'm asking that we use every power in the township to make it clear that these facilities are not welcome here. We love our neighbors, regardless of where they were born, their race, or even their party. And we must protect them from any force that seeks to do them harm. So I'm asking if our town attorney can look into everything that we can do legally. And I think we have an opportunity to show our neighboring towns the stark contrast of electing a Democratic committee who respects due process like this one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments. And again, I'm not sure which committee, if it was a committee person who wrote you the letter.
From Jeff.
Oh, thank you, Committeeman. Again, really appreciate your comments. And again, I think it goes unsaid. I won't speak for any other committee member, but with what is occurring, it's really shocking to everyone. So appreciate you coming here to the township. Thank you. Mrs. Wilson.
Hello, good evening. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So I have a couple of questions and a couple of questions about Ordinance 10-26. So this is the one having to do with the amended redevelopment plan. And I'm interested to know, to clarify a little bit about the process going forward. So the way I read this is that between now and the March 9th special meeting, the planning board will review the amended redevelopment plan, right?
They're going to review all of the ordinances for master plan consistency on March the 2nd.
March 2nd.
Okay, well, for this period, I'm interested in this ordinance.
Yeah.
When they review the amended redevelopment plan, is there an opportunity for public comment?
There is not.
There is not. Is there an opportunity for the public to get a copy of the report, the amended report?
It's being posted on the website tomorrow morning.
It is.
Yes, ma'am. All the ordinances and the redevelopment plan are all being posted on the website.
Okay, good. I guess I ask about that because I do remember the original redevelopment plan that goes back to 2018. And I will be very interested to see what the suggested revisions are for the amended plan. Also then, I would just like to, I would encourage you guys to think about possibly offering some type of additional training or Q&A or something, because I'm just reading through the agenda, all the ordinances. I don't have to tell you, it's a ton of material. And it's, yes, of course, it's very helpful to read it, but I think members of the public would benefit from some type of additional information being shared offline from the sort of legalistic forum that is part of the whole process. So I'll just plant that as a suggestion.
To be honest, we actually are already in that process, and it's just honestly too, we've just been, as you know, we have so much on our plate right
Totally.
now. And
I can see just from this agenda.
well, and then even, even finding who's going to be appointed to Mark's seat and all this. So the under the gun, not only that we feel, but everybody working on the affordable housing, that is our plan, is we've talked about holding some kind of public meeting and making sure we can bring in and having a more, a discussion, like you said, that's not so legalistic, just to explain
I think
to people.
what's really helpful to people is the opportunity for Q&A. to have a basic informational presentation and then the opportunity to ask questions. That would be my input. I also wanted to ask, I noticed there's a reference to the Highlands assessment, that's on the, what's it, the consent agenda?
Correct.
So is there a report?
Yes,
Will it be on the website?
After everything gets approved by the Township Committee tonight, yes.
So what is the process going forward on that?
It's up to the Township Committee.
I don't understand what you mean. The report is in your office and the Township Committee has to review it? Is that it?
They have the report. It's been completed as part of the grant process we went through. We have it back now, and next steps have to be considered.
Okay, so the report is in the hands of the Township Committee and not currently available to the public?
It's available to the public.
Oh, it is?
Yes, ma'am.
Through, is it on the website or do you
It
have to?
will be, but right now, if anybody wants it, they can file an open request. It's a public document.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And then also just when you were talking about the 21-day thing, good. I like to hear that. But it raised a question on, are you sending letters to people who live within 200 feet? So a lot of people are getting letters here.
Oh, yeah. It's required by statute. We're following the statute plus what the Township Committee wants. Of
200 and 400.
And extending that to 400 feet.
204, wow, that's great.
Yep.
Oh,
Yes, the 200 gets a certified letter and the
Yeah.
400 gets regular mail.
great. I'm so glad to hear that. Okay, I appreciate all your work. I know there's a lot on your plate here, and thank you for all that you do.
Well, thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming in. We haven't seen you in a while.
No, it's been a while. I missed your report.
Wait, Mr. Goldberg's first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
want to go?
No, sir.
No.
Okay, sorry. Lee Goldberg, 10 Arrowhead Road. I am a resident of Morris Township. I'd like to thank Brian Morgan for his report. I also serve on the zoning board, and oftentimes the materials and the artifacts that you guys produce end up in our packets and have proved useful many times. So thank you for all your work and service to produce all that. It's super helpful. So thank you for that. Just curious on the March 9th special meeting. The reason it's not being just at a regular meeting is because of some timeline or constraints imposed by the state. So that's the rationale for the special meeting. And then the decision to have it at 6 p.m. versus 7 p.m., maybe to give folks more time to get here after work. Is there any flexibility there? What was the rationale with that?
Well, and I think too, because there's so many, there's so much that we'll be discussing and doing them
So you want to start
each
early?
ordinance one at a time.
8 public hearings.
Yeah, 8 public hearings, and we wanted to give people time. Now, I will say this ahead of time, if, when there's a really packed room and we have that many, I know the public gets upset sometimes because it's normally a 5-minute. It could be 3 minutes due to the fact that there's 8 of them. And again, if someone wants to speak on each one, they're going to be welcome to come up. But sometimes those get repetitive questions. So it's not that we're trying to take away any time from the public.
Gotcha.
We're trying to be fair to everybody who shows up and wants their voice heard.
Okay, and for that meeting, is it correct to assume that Mr. Warner, the professionals will all be here as well and available as part of that process? Great. And thank you for the elaboration on the notice, the 200, the 400 feet. I know it's going to be all posted on the website. Is there anything else that the township can look to outside, perhaps, a press release or something to get out to just increase the knowledge within the community that this is about to happen on March 9th? Or I know again, we're following the rules and regulations, but is there anything extra we can do to alert folks to that as such an important meeting that's going to have such an impact on the community with zoning?
Yeah,
To
the clerk has advertised in the paper.
advertised in the paper in terms of,
And we do send out two emails when we have public meetings.
okay.
It'll be on municipal messenger
Yeah.
also.
It will be on the, okay.
It's
all right.
already out on a lot of that stuff
Okay,
already.
super, thank you. Another question on the bamboo news from tonight. It's impacting my neighborhood. Some of my neighbors, it's a common topic. We have a vacant house that's no one living in it. The taxes are being paid, the lawn's being mowed, but the bamboo is encroaching on people's property. So what is the enforcement or the teeth behind that? Is it what is the mechanism there to actually remediate it or, solve the problem?
Court order.
A court order, so the onus is on the resident to get the court order to?
No, our property maintenance officer.
I'm sorry?
If we get a report about bamboo that's encroaching somewhere else, then we send out someone and then we will
Get a court order
get a court
and
order
then,
to get.
Correct.
Okay.
Property maintenance officer would sign a
To
complaint
remove
against
it.
the property owner.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Property maintenance officer would sign a complaint against the property owner to be heard in municipal court.
Okay, great. Thank you for,
Well, hopefully they comply before it goes to court.
Well, if it's a vacant
That's the
house, they
hope.
may not comply.
If it's, yeah, but hopefully they would comply once they got the notice.
okay, all right. Thank you very much for explaining that. I just have a couple of questions. There were no agendas to pick up, so I had written them down at home, so I just had a couple of questions. One was on 5126. It just references certain private access roadways or something about signs. Can you elaborate as to what that's about?
The Red Bull signage to change it from Honeywell Drive to Stockton Way.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you. 5426, the expenditure for 5,700 to about 90,000, not to exceed $90,000 for Mr. Warner. That's all for anticipated affordable housing work that's to be happening in the
No.
future? No, it's not anything to do with affordable housing.
That's already work that has been done.
That's for work that has been done.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know that and acknowledging that. 5926 just says transfer of funds. Is that?
It's a normal finance thing to move funds from one account to another account.
So no other
You'll
elaboration?
see that
other
on
than-
a number of agendas throughout the end of the year and the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Standard procedure.
Okay, and to former Mayor Wilson's point, I did see the line item on the master plan in the Highlands. I believe ours is coming up redo in 2027 or every 10 years, so we're approaching that now. Does that work wait to initiate in 2027?
No,
Or
it
it's-
starts now.
It started, so
You're at your 5 minutes, sir.
Well, it starts now. We're actually getting the dates together to set the schedule
Okay,
to start that.
great, thank you. Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just two comments. First of all,
Just need your
Committeeman
name again,
Ravitz.
sir. Sorry.
Sorry?
You have to give your name again, please.
Oh, Steve Laris, 20 Oak Park Drive, there 28 years, my wife Andrea. Committeeman Ravitz, thank you very much for making that statement. That was really beautiful. And Committeeman Jonnada, that was a real add-on. But I just want to say one thing about slavery. It really is a scar in this country. And let's all understand that slavery goes on today, right now, in restaurants, on roofs, in houses of prostitution and pedophilia and all that type of stuff. So it's just not in our history. It's going on right now, even in our town. The last thing I want to say is I'm one of the only people in my area that actually cuts their own grass anymore and blows their own leaves. The gentleman who called earlier about the leaf blower, I have that leaf blower. I invite the committee, any committeeman can come to my home, stand on the curb, and if it disturbs them in any way, I'll certainly get rid of mine. But I've had it for about 4 or 5 years now. I've never had a complaint from any of my neighbors, including most important neighbors, my wife, who never said it's too loud. And the last thing, I think I am an expert on that leaf blower. And then the last thing I want to say, if we're all concerned about noise, the days that we're in our homes, for the most part, are Saturday and Sunday. Let's limit professional gardeners from coming into our neighborhoods on a Saturday or a Sunday. Let's leave those days for parents to spend time throwing the ball around in the yard with their kids. That's, I think, more important than just the level of noise on my almost acre of property. So please consider limiting professional landscapers to Monday through Friday in the township. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Hey, Steve. Steve, before you go, I just want to let you know that and thank you for your comments about slavery, including what's happening in present day America. I just want to let you know that our police force actively trains on human trafficking. And we were talking about it a little bit earlier, Mayor.
Yep.
Maybe you can elaborate on what you're involved with. But we are fully aware of that kind of slavery occurring.
Right.
And we work very hard to ensure that it doesn't happen in our community.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, most of the municipalities, I mean, we are well aware and we know that it's not something, and to your point, it's not, what people automatically think of when they first hear slavery. It's happening everywhere and in all different capacities. And there is a seminar coming up that we will have someone from the township, one of the police officers. We went last year and we'll be there again. So constantly trying to help fight that, which is a really tough issue. But everybody's well aware that it's going on.
Yeah.
So appreciate your comments there too. If you have a comment, Deputy Mayor Jonnada?
He's saying a hand.
Well, Charlie's hand, yeah, it is up. Okay, if there's nobody else here, then Charlie, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Charlie Schachter, 10 Raleigh Court. And, first of all, I just got to say, I wish I had started attending these township committee meetings a lot sooner. Tonight's meeting has been truly inspiring to me, and I just, so many amazing things have been said tonight, and I just appreciate the caring of the community on the whole range of issues. And so that's one thing. Secondly, Donna, you did briefly mention the letter that the Mayor Nancy Adams of Maplewood had sent to the Township Committee. I just wanted to follow up. You mentioned at the end of your agenda that 5 items were being entered into the record. Was that letter one of those items?
No, I don't think so.
No.
It wouldn't be.
No.
It's reports.
Those are reports that are entered.
Okay. Is that letter somehow officially, or will it be acknowledged officially or entered into the record? Or is that something I should put forward?
Did you all receive the letter on the leaf blowers from Maplewood? You did, right? You all got a copy.
It's just correspondence. It's not something.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Understood. And finally, I really respect Steve's comments about his leaf blower. I look forward to having him maybe participate if we can have some discussion in the future on this issue, and we'll all learn from each other.
Okay, great. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Seeing no other hands raised, would someone make a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next special township committee meeting is Monday, March 9th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the municipal building, 50 Woodland Avenue, public hearing and adoption of ordinances 04-26 through 11-26. The next regular township meeting is Wednesday, March 18th at 7 p.m., 5:30 p.m. closed session in the municipal building, 50 Woodland Avenue. The time is now 9:02. May I have a motion to adjourn the regular session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all so much for coming out. Have a great night. Go USA.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Yeah.
Overtime.